what does it take to be successful outside the United States, right?
Okay.
Customer, drags you over there, kicking and screaming, and at first it seems like an inconvenience until you look around and you explore and find out that, my gosh, there's big opportunities here. And everybody needs us and everybody wants us. And there's such great people, and it's a wonderful experience to be here. Now, 9 out of 10 people would have that response. The 10th one is like, I just want to get back home. I don't like to drive on the opposite side of the road. I don't like the accent here. Okay. Those, they're human. They exist. But to be successful, you have to be very open-minded. And so they say you have to be hard and firm, but you have to be hard and firm like water. It's expected in negotiations and discussions that you be firm. So you have to have hard skills. You have to be able to spell out your deliverables. You have to be able to spell out the expectations, not just for the distributor, but for the end user. You really need to clean this oven. We're not kidding. If you don't change this and clean it on a monthly basis, your $10,000 investment will be in trouble. It'll be at risk. So find a way in your processes to do these two things. And if you want the distributor to help you and you're going to pay him, fine, they'll come in and do it. But so you have to be hard, you have to have structure, but you have to be soft. In other words, if they're talking to you and they're trying to explain that they're different, you really have to listen. You have to have emotional intelligence. And that means you have to listen. Your listening skills have to be fantastic, and you have to understand what they're trying to say to you. So you're from another country. You're a Westerner. You're an American, and you've been educated, and you've lived in a country that nearly everybody in the world would love to live in. So there's some respect there in almost every case. They'd love to come to America. They love to roll out the red carpet for Americans, but you have to have emotional intelligence and emotional IQ. You can't expect them to behave the way you behave or the way your friends behave, or they've had to grow up in a very different market in some cases, where they didn't have some of the opportunities that we have here, and they've made it, and they're excelling in what they do against all odds in some cases. They don't have the infrastructure we have. They don't have the education system we have. Now, a lot of that's changing. Japan would be a different case, where they're light years ahead of us in some areas. Israel, light years ahead of us in technology. Other places, not so much. So you have to really, and you cannot assume that your culture and your product is superior to everything. You cannot do that. You just can't do it. It's off-putting. You have to be very good at asking questions and showing respect. That's that emotional IQ. Tell me about you. Tell me about your family. People love to talk. They love to share their story. Everybody has a story, and if you have the right level of emotional IQ, that's where you start. Tell me, how did you get into this business? What made you call us? Or why are we here calling on you? But you have to have that emotional IQ that starts down a path that's really about them. And eventually you'll get to their needs, and you just keep asking, okay, I understand, take some notes. Tell me again why, help me understand. And so along the way, you're showing respect for their needs and their culture, and things are different, right? That everything's done differently. So again, think globally, act locally. You're never going to speak their language the way they do, but when they're speaking in French or in Portuguese or whatever it is, you cannot look the other way or look down at your paper. You really have to engage. You don't know what they're saying, but you can watch their body language when they're talking to each other, or when one's talking to and the other one's translating, You have to look them in the eye. You can't just doodle and listen. That's disrespectful. Again, it's emotional IQ. But when you get that right, you've got a friend for life. You really do. And together you'll find, the solution that they're looking for, and hopefully, you have a friend for life, and a good customer for life.